Not everybody here is a designer. We're in different occupations. But as human beings, we have participated in design. We may not have known it. And one of the things that we've certainly participated in is the design of who we are as human beings, designing our lives. And I stand before you as an individual who has recently gone through a total redesign of my life. As many of you know, I was a Catholic priest for 27 years. I grew up on the great south side of Chicago, that's S-O-U-D-T, in a neighborhood that was all white and became all black while I lived there. And I spent my entire life in the black community in Chicago. 27 years as a Catholic priest. 27 great years. And in March 7th of 2001, I made a decision to leave the priesthood. And it was quite shocking to many people, including myself. And one of the things that motivated me to that, one of the sponge ideas that motivated me to redesign my life, was a statement my father said to me over and over again as a kid that I thought was totally ridiculous, when he'd say, "Be honest with yourself." While I was on sabbatical, I said, you know what? I've always thought women should get ordained. I've always thought priests should get married. And then other things happened, and it kerneled and fermented and nurtured and grew, and suddenly, March 7, 2001, I was without a job. And a friend of mine on the west side of Chicago, Edna, of Edna's Restaurant, came up to me and said, "Oh, we're so proud of you." And I said, you know what? Not a lot of people are proud of me for leaving the priesthood. I got to ask you, why are you proud of me for leaving the priesthood? Well, because you felt the Lord calling you, and you had nothing. You had no woman, no relationship, no job, no car, no money, no insurance. And I said, and a whole lot of other no's too. And I said, you're right. I didn't. And that's what design is. Design is risky behavior. Sometimes we have a lot of fear that motivates us or limits us when we're thinking of redesigning something or designing something. The fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of what others are going to say. Oh, they're going to criticize us. They'll think I stole their idea. What are they going to say? What are they going to do it? We've always done it this way. Why do you have to design a new way? Well, after I resigned the priesthood, 2 months to the day, I became president of a company called Goodcity. And what we do is we start nonprofits. We're their 501c3 till they get theirs, and we're their fiscal manager. And we teach them how to write grants, how to analyze budgets, how to do strategic planning, how to do board development, just about every day. People literally walk into my office and say, I have this idea, and we try to make it real. And I'm able to really journey with people as they're creating and designing something new, not out of a want, but out of a need of their particular community. Well, that's all in good, but it does get very, very scary. And I think as we go through this concept of trying to be a sponge, we do have to take risks. We do have to get out there on the cusp of things, and whatever it is that sustains us, whatever it is that nourishes us, it looks kind of scary when we think about it, but if we're really going to design an idea and make it real, we got to get in the water. We've got to get in the water. One of the things, and I was just talking to somebody outside about this, they said, I'm so angry about this, I'm so angry about that, and I said, good. And that's one of the things we don't tap enough. Not hot anger, but cold anger. Let it churn within us, the injustice we see, the wrong we want to right. And let it burn within us and motivate us and churn with us so we go ahead and do something about it. A kernel of the sponge that's helped me in community building. You know, I really wouldn't call myself a community builder. I don't have any of the answers, and I don't certainly know how to design the perfect community. But I am grateful, Greg, that you did not call me a community organizer. But anyway... That's an inside joke. Maybe it's not. But anyway, the other thing is there are no permanent enemies and no permanent allies. That's something that's really helped me in my life. We've got to work with everybody. It doesn't matter who they are, what they're doing. We've got to work to try to create a better world. I've always been a person who feels that my attitude is going to determine my altitude. And I must say, people will always say to me things like, "Great time. Oh, Mike, you're so energetic. You have so much life. Oh, my God." And I'm really tempted to say to them sometimes, "So do you. You are a human being as well. And you too have that life." We have to find out what sustains us. Another kernel that came from my father was when he would say to me and point his finger at me and he'd say, "Hey, don't take life so seriously, because you're never getting out of it alive anyway." And it's true. Imagine your report card at the end of your life. And it says, unbeknownst to you, didn't notice ahead of time, all right, you're going to be graded on one thing, and it's a pass-fail course. And here it is. How many human beings have you helped to put a smile on their face? Boy, is it quiet in here now. Are our ideas and our design having an impact in the world? Are they improving the quality of life of a human being? It's a struggle. We don't always like it. We get tired, and we just say, "You know what? Enough of standing in that bucket. That is just too much. It's just ridiculous. I'm tired of it." And that's what design is. Design gets us tired. Design is sloppy. Design is wet. Design is slippery. Design is dangerous. But it's what we're called to do. In order to be fully engaged in the design process, we have to get out of our comfort zones and sometimes go back to the immersion process. When we get frustrated, we've got to go back. I don't want to go back. It's the only way you're going to get a good idea. Oh, no. Well, what am I going to do? I'm going to get back in. Well, you know, this isn't really helping. I'm in, and it's just like it was before. Maybe you're just not in deep enough. Oh, man. You mean I got to sit in this? You got to have an open attitude. So for this 2 days, it's your decision, nobody else's, on your design. Are you going to be willing to become a sponge and take full advantage? Get in. Some of us, it might be feet first. Some of us might be waist only. And some of us, it might be all the way. That's what we might have to do. Does it make us feel uncomfortable? Yes. And let me close with a story shared to me by the chairman of the CHA Board of Commissioners, Marty Nesbitt, as he came back, his best friend, one of his best friends, Senator Barack Obama. And he came back from South Carolina and shared a story. And he said, Senator Obama had been promised the endorsement of a state representative in South Carolina, but he had to come to his particular town. Fine. Day comes, stormy. Doesn't get out of O'Hare till 12 o'clock. He's got a cold coming on because he sat in the water too long. And so he goes ahead, goes down there, bumpy ride, gets in at 1 in the morning, and comes in there, and they say, "Hey, you know, we got to get up at 6 because we got to drive 3 hours." Oh, great. He's feeling terrible. He's crabby. He's in a bad mood. They drive. They get to the place in South Carolina. 12 people. 12 people in the room. He says, "Great." Woman walks in the room, red hat on. She says, "Fired up, ready to go." He turns around. He looks like this. She goes to everybody, "Fired up, ready to go. Fired up, ready to go. Fired up, ready to go." Saying to himself, "Is she crazy?" And so she goes up to each person, "Fired up, ready to go." And they respond, "Fired up, ready to go. Fired up, ready to go." Comes to Senator Obama, "Fired up, ready to go." He says, "Fired up, ready to go." And she wouldn't quit. Fired up, ready to go. Fired up, ready to go. Fired up, ready to go. Got everybody involved, and suddenly the whole room, even Senator Obama, was going, "Fired up, ready to go." I was watching CNN later that week and saw a march of 15,000 in South Carolina, and there was this lady with a red hat at the beginning saying, "Fired up, ready to go." And he said, it's an example of what one person can do to change a room. If one person can change a room, one room can change a city. If one room can change a city, one city can change a county, and on and on and on. So it's up to us. Fire it up. Amen. Thank you.